Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are going to do the video where a subscriber picks my makeup. My friend Christine is a subscriber, if I could talk that would be good, is a subscriber on my channel, but she is also a friend of mine. So I texted her and asked her if she would be interested in helping me pick out some stuff for this video. This is one of those tag videos that YouTubers used to do a long time ago, and it's been a while since I've filmed doing makeup on camera, so I thought that would be fun. So I had to pull out products in each category, send her pictures. She picked out what she wanted me to use, and this was like 2 months ago, so it's been a hot minute. So I have the bag of things. I'm gonna cheat here just a little bit, so don't be mad. She picked out the Nomad Hudson Valley palette, which I don't think I've ever used this, because obviously I had her pick this stuff in like August or September. I don't know, it was a while ago. Hadn't gotten around to filming it. Because we're in December when you're watching this, I am gonna swap out that palette for this Nomad palette. Christine and I both like Nomad Cosmetics, so I think if this had been an option, she may have picked it anyway, but I've never used this palette either. It's a little bit more Christmassy. So I'm just gonna swap. So Christine, if you're watching, hopefully you're not mad and hopefully it's okay, but I'm just gonna swap out this Nomad palette for that one just because this is more Christmassy. Does it matter? No, but again, I haven't used this either. So we're gonna use this palette instead, but everything else she picked out. So we're gonna put it on and see what it looks like. So if that sounds interesting, stick around. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe. And I think that's all I have. Let's and I do not have my mirror down here, so I'm gonna have to use you as the mirror. So you're gonna be real close because I just turned 40 and I've been wearing glasses for 30 years, so my vision is not really good. Let me pull everything out of the bag here. I have some good stuff. All right, and like I said, I'm just gonna swap out the palette, but for primers, she picked the Laura Geller Spackle Skin Perfecting. It says it hydrates, moisturizes, and replenishes. I have something similar from Dominique Cosmetics where it's a little bit of like a moisturizing and smoothing primer, and I do like the Dominique Cosmetics one. Took me a minute to pump that out, but I swear I've used this before. Maybe I haven't. Well, if not, we're using it today. So I did put some skincare on before I came down, and I did film another video before this, so hopefully everything is kind of soaked in. My skin's been really dry. I'm getting over like the flu. We've had to turn the heat on. It's been like in the 50s at night here in Arizona. So we're getting chilly. Chilly for us. I know not chilly for the rest of the world. I am from Montana originally, so I do understand that chilly here is not chilly everywhere else, but cold for here. Okay, so for foundation, she picked the Revlon Serum Tint. It's got SPF 15. Let me get a brush of some kind here. Let's see. I'll use this LYS one. I was sent this. I think I've used it once. It's not bad, but it's expensive for a drugstore. Like, I was shocked when I looked up what the price point, and I think that's why I've been kind of reluctant to reach for it on my channel, because the economy is like in the dumpster. And yeah, this is pricey. I think it was like $15 or something. Like it does claim to have like skincare and stuff in it, and it does, like, it goes on nicely, but yeah, I was shocked at the price point. But drugstore has gotten expensive. Like, even e.l.f.'s prices, I've noticed, have gone up And I'm doing just little bitty squirts. So it's a tinted, like hydrator, tinted moisturizer, serum, foundation-y kind of. I don't think it's as much coverage as like, what is it, the L'Oreal True Match Serum Foundation. I'm going to say it's, and even the Wet n Wild tinted moisturizer, this is like a pretty light coverage product. It's more coverage than my Pure tinted moisturizer. That's probably the lightest coverage product I have, but like I said, it doesn't look bad. But yeah, I think that's why I did like one video with it, and then I just, like I said, because of the price point, I don't know if this is exactly the right shade. I think it looks fine. It's thinner coverage products. I think it's easier to get away with. Like you've got a little bit of wiggle room with shades. Mine's 213, if anybody's curious. And I'm somebody, I would rather go a little bit too dark than too light, because then it kind of washes me out, if that makes sense. So there's that. You can kind of see the texture on my skin is really bad. I've been sick, getting over the flu. So that is what it is. Okay, for concealer, she picked the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and I have two shades, so I'm going to use the lighter one under my eyes, and this is in, I don't know what shade that is, Alabaster, and then the other one is in Natural, which is obviously it's a little bit darker. So I'm going to put that there. It's really hard to pick the right shade online. I ordered these through like Walmart, I think. Do I have a brush? I should. Yes, here's my other concealer brush. My Singe Beauty one that I've been using is in my bag upstairs. That's the only brush I've tried from Angelica Nyquist brand. I really like it. I just, you know, her brushes are, I wouldn't say they're cheaper than like Sigma brushes, but they're a little bit pricier. So I've only bought one, and I got it when she was doing a sale. So I was able to get like 25% off because I wanted to try them. But I like the concealer brush. I would be interested in getting a couple more from her at some point when I have extra money, but I do get a fair amount of brushes in like subscription boxes and things. So, and I've gotten a few in like boxes when I've been sent stuff. So I don't necessarily need brushes. I have a lot. So it's hard to justify spending money on brushes because I have so many. I don't need them. Okay. I feel like you can still see, but some of that I've discovered is like a hollowing because I've aging. Like it's not as full under here, if that makes sense. So it creates a shadow. So sometimes I think like, oh, I can still see a dark circle, but I think I'm seeing a shadow, if that makes sense. I'm not actually seeing the dark circle because as you age, that's why like celebrities will get like weird creases because they do filler. That would be why. Okay, and I'm gonna let that sit, and we're gonna try and do brows again. My vision is not good. I can kind of see. There we go. So if I'm scary close to the camera, that's why. This is the $1 Billion Brow. It's kind of a thicker pencil, but I don't like I haven't been over filling my brows. I just kind of fill in where they're naturally are and just give them a little more shape. It's mainly just a time thing because when I overfill and do like the fluffy brow, it takes me like 10 minutes. And when I'm doing my makeup upstairs, I don't necessarily have the 10 minutes. So I haven't been overfilling. And I think Pamela Anderson becoming, you know, relevant again has helped because she's got a thinner brow. And doesn't even wear makeup anymore. So I did pick out, there's the $1 Billion Brow Powder. Let's see. I don't know if I had her pick out brow products or if I just threw these in. I don't remember. Like I said, I sent her the pictures a long time ago. So this stuff has been sitting down here. And then I just run a little bit of powder to kind of like set the pencil a little bit. My brows are just naturally thin. It's not, my grandmother, when she was alive, used to tell me, oh, you're over tweezing them. I don't. The only hairs I tweeze are the ones like down here and way up here that are nowhere near. My thyroid is on the edge of being low, so I think that contributes. And then I think it's hereditary because my grandmother didn't have eyebrows either. Some of hers was, you know, she was 84, and then she also took heart medication, was diabetic, but I think some of it's hereditary. And then also, like I said, my thyroid, it's not low enough that I need to take medication for it, but I think that's why my eyelashes thinned out a little bit, because my eyelashes used to be really long, and then eyebrows, because your thyroid affects your hair and a lot of things. So I like to let the concealer sit, and then I go in and pat out the creases. This is like a pro tip that I was watching a makeup artist. She's like closer to 50. And then set it, because she was saying if you set it too soon, it can actually cause it to crease more, which was sound advice. So the powder that she picked out was the Lunar Beauty powder. Let's use this brush. So I have noticed a difference in my concealer looking better since I started. And I usually do what I just did. I'll put the concealer on, get it, you know, blend it out, do my eyebrows, give it a little bit to set, and then go back in and pat out the creases. And then, because yeah, she was saying, and I found her on TikTok. I can't remember what the lady's name was. I'll try and look it up, but yeah, she said if you set it right away, it can actually cause it to crease more because it's not, you know, you haven't given it time to do what it's gonna do. So I do think that that has made a difference. So we're gonna put that on. I feel like there's a hair on my face. There probably is. I need to, my husband suggested, because I'm downstairs, putting covers on my brushes, because it gets dusty down here, which is probably something I need to do because my face it'll feel like there's like a hair or something, and I think it's just because dust. Okay. So there is that, and then that's what the Lunar Beauty, it's really pretty. Okay, so let's see. We do have cream bronzer. We're going to do the Fenty in Suede. So this is number 2. So this is the second. Amber's the first one, which I do have amber, but mine is in a compact. And we'll do a little bit. I will say the one that I have in the little like compact is a little creamier than the stick. The stick is a little bit on the stiffer side. I don't find myself reaching for the stick as much. And this is a little bit warmer, like amber. If you are looking for a cool tone like contour, amber is your shade, because it is definitely more on the ashy side. This is definitely warmer. I did get this, I think, in a like BoxyCharm. So I did pick this shade, and I think I purposely picked this one because it was different than obviously I don't need 2 ambers. And I tried to get, when I bought the one in the compact, and they were like out of the sticks because it's when they had first launched and everybody was losing their minds. hopefully that's blended in. Like I said, I don't have a mirror. I'm home by myself, so it doesn't really matter if it's not perfectly blended. It'll be okay. See on that side. I think we're good. Okay. And then she picked out a cream blush. So this is the Huda Beauty in Perky Peach. I think I swatched this, but I don't think I've ever actually put this on my face. So we'll put a little bit up there too. There's that. This one. I don't know if I've tried this on my face. It did look like it had been used, but I think I might have just swatched it. We are going to go over this with powder, so this is just a base. But that seems to be, and you did see me set, so it doesn't look like it's disrupting anything underneath, which is nice. Okay. We are going to do some liquid highlighter too, but I'll go in with powder, bronzer, and blush first. So the face palette that she chose for me was the Ofra, like the Miami one. So it looks like this. Let's come in here. I'm going to just use this lighter one today. These are Ofra products. I do like them. And they travel well, so I usually, like when I've gone to Montana, I tend to bring an Ofra palette with me just because I'm on the airplane, and like I said, these do travel well. And you may be asking, why would I go back over the cream and then layering the powder gives you, at least for me, it gives me some longevity, like good staying power. So I will generally layer when I know it's going to be a longer day. And I'm going to just do the orangier blush. And I generally, my makeup will last all day when I layer like this. And I'm somebody, like you can do the cream and just leave it. I don't like the tacky feeling on my skin, so I don't like to just leave it. Forgot to have her pick setting spray, so I have the e.l.f. one sitting over here. So for liquid highlighter, she did pick out the Rare Beauty. I've got, let's see, do I have a brush that'll work? This one might. This is an e.l.f. I think this is supposed to be for the putty bronzer, but I think that'll work for the blending out the highlighter. You can use your fingers. I don't necessarily like doing that. I don't think I've ever used this. Again, this came in a subscription box, I'm fairly certain. Blends out really nicely. And again, I'm using the e.l.f. I think it's the putty bronzer brush, but it's doing a really good job for this. That's pretty. And then we might as well go over it a little bit with, I don't know what the shade is. What's like a champagne-y color in the Ofra palette, just to kind of set that down. Doesn't need it. The Rare Beauty stuff does dry down, so it won't stay tacky. I used the Magic City highlighter, 305 blush, and the Cafecito bronzer. Apparently the shades were on the plastic insert. Okay, so there is that. This is the Power Grip spray. Looks really pretty. Okay, so we're gonna do eyes. So we're gonna come in here, and I did not have her pick out an eye primer, so I just grabbed, I figured this was an affordable option. This is the Ulta Beauty, just the matte primer. I used to use this all the time. I actually have a backup tube of this. And this is really good. I've been exfoliating more, so I haven't had this issue, but I used to have a big problem with makeup staying on my nose, like around my nose, on the top of my nose. And if you use an eyeshadow primer, sometimes it can be because it gets oily, because eyeshadow primers tend to be oil resistant, because eyelids can get like sweaty and oily. So this is, because it has a little bit of a tint, is a good one to lay a little bit down. Like, don't do a lot, and it actually would help keep my makeup on. But part of my problem is my skin is extremely dry, so I have to make sure I exfoliate really well, and then I don't have that problem. But if you do have problems with makeup staying on your nose, try a little bit of this is good, and then the MAC like Paint Pot, something with a little bit of a tint to it. This is obviously like $10 cheaper than the MAC, but they both do the same job because there's a little bit of color, they're mattifying, so that's why that works. I think I'm just gonna do a really simple look. I like this shade Venice, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of the matte red. So let's put a little bit of the red in the crease. And you could do the shimmer first and then put the color in. We're just gonna do, that's very pigmented. I'm actually kind of shocked at how pigmented that red is. Because sometimes like Nomad's a little bit more on the subtle side, but that is a red. Roaring 20s is what it's called. I think they discontinued this palette. This was, what is this? The Orient Express. This, I think they released a Polar Express palette this year. I always think that's what this is called, is like, because this reminds me of Christmas time, but they did release a Polar Express palette. I did not get it, but it did look pretty. So I think that palette was kind of intended to replace this one, because I feel like I think this was a holiday palette that they released several years ago. I got this one on sale. Like, they had brought back a few of their discontinued palettes temporarily. They had them marked down. I think they were trying to clear out some leftover stock, and then I have not seen it since. Okay, so very, very easy. Do I have a color switch here? I do. Try and clean that off, because that is red. Okay, so cleaned the brush off just to make sure, like I said, we're not doing anything revolutionary here. Okay, that'll work. I'm gonna take just some of the matte white just up under the brow. And then there's a shimmery white in here. We'll do a little bit of that too, just right there. Okay. Again, can't really, I can see, but I can't see, if that makes sense. You can probably see better than me. Does it look blended? Hopefully it looks blended. Okay. And then I need a little, have a pencil brush. Oh, that's a flat brush too. Okay, that'll work. All right, so for the lid, normally I would do like a glitter glue, but I didn't pull one out, so we're gonna use that Venice shade. It looks like a duochrome, kind of a goldy color. Go in with my finger. That's what it. and then I can fill in the gaps here a little bit. That's pretty. So you don't have to do a lot of eyeshadows. You know, you see these like elaborate tutorials where they're using like 6 colors. You don't have to do that many for it to be impactful, because I think this looks pretty. You could do this for a holiday party. It didn't take a lot of time. I think it still looks nice. Okay, and then on the outer corner, I'm just gonna pat a little bit of the red, just right there. And then flip the brush back over. And you don't have to do that. You could just leave it with the shimmer all over. If there was a red shimmer in here, I would probably put that out there instead, but I think the matte works fine. So there is that. And then there's kind of a mossy green right here. I'm going to do a little bit of that on the inner corner. We'll just do full Christmas here. And then I'll figure out. I don't always do a matte inner corner. And then I'm going to take maybe a little bit of the white shimmer. That's a little dark. My headband's starting to go there. Yeah, I felt it. If you wanted to dip into another palette, I would maybe go a little bit lighter of a green, but we're just experimenting here, so it's fine. And you could go back and forth and from the green to the white to make it lighter. And then on the lower lash line, do I have a brush I can use? That's kind of fluffy. Let's see. This one. I'm going to use this like green shimmer right here just on the bottom. We'll just do full on. This yellow gold that's in here would be pretty in the inner corner too, maybe, instead of that green. Depends on which route you want to go. I like doing shimmers on the lower lash line just because my eyes tend to run. My allergies are really bad. So shimmers, because you can use them wet and dry, they kind of tolerate being wet a little better. I find that they stick around better on my eyes. Let's see. Oh, I'm holding it in my hand. Okay. We'll do a little bit of the gold just to see what that looks like. To brighten that up. There we go. It's kind of a yellowy gold, so it shouldn't muddy the green. Okay. So there is that. Super simple. I think it looks festive. All the things. Okay, and then mascara. She did pick me out a liquid liner. I don't think I'm going to put that on just because my eyes are already starting to run, but she did pick out mascara. I don't think I have an eyelash curler, so we'll just put the mascara on. But I do like this. This is the Glamlite. This was part of the Scooby-Doo collection. Some people didn't like this, but I am not necessarily the best judge of mascaras because my lashes do not hold a curl, and I mainly only use mascara because I generally wear falsies when I have makeup on to kind of help me blend. But I'm just going to put a little bit just because I really can't see that well. I don't want to poke myself in the eye. But I don't, like, this is a thicker mascara, but I never had any issues with it. And then for lips, we have the Jeepers lipstick from Glamlite. It's just a nude. This was part of their original Scooby-Doo collection. Again, I don't know that this is available anymore, but it's comfortable. It's like soft matte touch, but there's the finished look. I think she did a really good job picking out products. Everything looks nice. Came together well, coordinated well, even with me switching out the palettes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's been a while since I've filmed myself doing makeup on camera, so hopefully it wasn't too bad. And again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye, everybody.